After more trucks were added to heavy-duty class, now it's time to rank every heavy-duty truck in the game, from worst to best. Starting with number 10, Chevrolet Kodiaq C70. Now, before we get to this truck, I would like to mention I don't think any truck in this class is really that bad or unusable, but this truck, the Kodiaq C70, is weaker compared to the rest of the trucks in this class. The performance of Chevrolet Kodiaq C70 is not as good as the rest of the trucks in this class, and it has some downsides. This truck is not that fuel efficient, especially for a truck that has access to only 200 liters of fuel. The fuel tank of this truck is not that big. This truck has some of the smallest tires in the heavy duty class, and you cannot even have crane and bed on your truck at the same time. But unlike most of the trucks in the heavy-duty class, this truck has good ground clearance. Overall, this is not a bad truck, but the performance and the things that this truck offers is not as good as the rest of the trucks in this class. Next, at number 9, we have Philstar F2070A, the second truck that you unlock in a SnowRunner. The Philstar has really good handling. Driving this truck feels really good. It supports crane, bed and trailer combo, but like most of the heavy-duty trucks, it doesn't have much ground clearance. The performance of this truck in harsh terrain is mid. It's not that good, but it's not the worst either. And you have access to good number of add-ons. The fuel tank capacity of this truck is 240 liters. The Philstar is a very good choice at the beginning of your run in a SnowRunner, but the more you play and more trucks you unlock, it kinda loses its spot. Number 8, Cat CT680. A very powerful truck with really good power to weight ratio and almost no ground clearance. This truck is a good choice for pulling heavy trailers, and it does have access to pretty much every single add-on in the game. The performance of this truck in harsh terrain is not that great, maybe because it doesn't have much ground clearance, and it does support crane, bed and trailer combo. For me, the biggest downside of this vehicle is the ground clearance. You're going to hit everything on the ground with your truck, like you have zero ground clearance. Next, at number 7, we have the GMC Brigadier. If there is one truck that is full of surprises, that truck is this one. First, I would like to mention driving this truck around feels really good. But what's even better than that is at first when you look at this truck, you think it's not that good, it's pretty normal, and probably it can't do many things. But that's not true. It can do everything. It has access to many different add-ons. It supports crane, bed and trailer combo, and the performance of this truck in harsh terrain is average. You can use this truck in most of the maps, but in very difficult maps, maybe it's not a good idea to use this truck. Personally, I like this truck. Driving this truck feels really good. At number 6, we have the white Western Star. One of the best trucks that you can unlock early in the game. This truck is amazing. It's not as fast as other heavy-duty trucks, but the handling is pretty good. One thing I really like about this truck is the fact that this truck is very stable, at least compared to early trucks you unlock. So for things like logging or overloading, this truck is pretty good. On top of that, you have a big fuel tank. The fuel tank capacity of this truck is 300 liters, which is again very amazing compared to the rest of the trucks you unlock early in the game. And the performance of this truck is pretty good. It's again like most of the heavy duty trucks, not the best, but not the worst. In deep mud, it will get stuck, but anything other than that, it will get the job done. Like most of the heavy-duty trucks, you have access to many different add-ons, and this truck doesn't have that much ground clearance. One thing about white Western Star is This truck cannot support crane, bed, and trailer combo. Next, we have the other cat truck, Cat CT681. This truck is very similar to the Cat CT680, but it's better and it has a dead axle. The dead axle usually helps you to increase the stability of the truck, but sometimes it could be a downside on its own. It could be the reason your truck gets high centered. The performance of this truck is pretty good. It's not bad at all. In most of the maps you can use this truck, and this truck, like other heavy duty trucks, has access to many different add-ons. Next, at number 4, we have the International HX520. First, I want to say I love the way this truck looks. I really do like this truck. This is one of my favorite trucks in the game. And the performance of this truck is pretty good. It does a good job in harsh terrain, and it's really good under heavy load. It does support crane, bed, and trailer combo, and you have access to plenty of add-ons. Overall, you can use this vehicle for anything that you want. It will get the job done. The fuel tank capacity of this vehicle is 280 liters, which is not that bad, and it's not a very tippy truck. The downside though, it doesn't have much ground clearance. I wish there was a raised suspension upgrade for this truck. Now for the top 3. This is where things get a bit serious. Trucks get a bit beefy and they get a roof rack. At number 3, we have the Freightliner FLD 120. This truck has 2 really cool add-ons, the service cap and the shield and repair supplies. Now, it might sound a bit unbelievable, but this truck with that shield and repair supplies add-on has access to more than 600 liters of fuel, 310 in the fuel tank and 300 with this add-on. I mean, that is just unbelievable, and this truck is not even that fuel thirsty. But one downside is, with the service cap or the shield and repair supplies, you cannot have the crane. So you need to choose, do you want the goodies or do you want the crane? And one thing I want to say, that service cap makes the truck to look so good when you are pulling a trailer. I wish that add-on was available for more trucks. Now, the performance of this truck is pretty good. It's really good. It does have good ground clearance, which is rare for a heavy-duty truck, and you have access to a bunch of add-ons. Overall, this Freightliner truck is pretty good. Now for number 2, my favorite heavy-duty truck in the game right now, the Kenworth C500. God, I love this truck. This is like the most badass looking truck in my opinion. It looks amazing, and the performance of this truck doesn't disappoint at all. It has access to 51-inch OHD tires, which is the biggest in the heavy-duty class. And those tires really help this truck in deep mud or snow. But having the biggest tires is actually not the only unique thing about this truck. It is the only heavy-duty truck in the game that has access to diff-lock always on. So when you put this truck in high gear, it goes through mud like it's nothing. And you have a unique flatbed too. The Kenworth C500 supports crane, bed, and trailer combo. The fuel tank capacity of this truck is 375 liters, which is pretty impressive. On top of that, you have access to 140 liters of fuel on the roof rack. And this truck is not that tippy. You know, everything about Kenworth C500 is really good, but it doesn't have that much ground clearance. Now for the number 1, the worst heavy-duty truck when it was first released in the game, and now it is the best heavy-duty truck in the game, the Mack Pinnacle. This truck is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good this truck is right now. This truck at first didn't have access to all-wheel drive and it wasn't good at all, to be honest. But now, with that all-wheel drive, it shreds now. It flies through mud. For a heavy-duty truck, the performance of this vehicle is absolutely insane. I never thought Mack Pinnacle with all-wheel drive is going to be this good. It makes me wanna think how good Kenworth W990 would be with the all-wheel drive. Now, Mack Pinnacle has access to a bunch of add-ons, including long flatbed and long sideboard bed, and that makes this truck the only heavy-duty truck that has access to these add-ons. On top of that, Mack Pinnacle has a unique login add-on and login crane. And it is one of the few vehicles in the entire game that allows you to have medium or short login add-on on your truck plus the login crane at the same time. But one thing I want to mention, even though Mack Pinnacle has access to unique login add-ons, you need to be a bit careful when you are delivering logs with this vehicle, especially medium logs. Because when you have medium logs on this truck packed, this truck could be a bit tippy. But overall, other than that, this truck is not that tippy. With Mack Pinnacle, you have access to 350 liters of fuel in the fuel tank, plus an extra 140 liters of fuel on the roof rack. But when you are using that log crane, you cannot have the roof rack on the truck. One thing I need to mention for this truck, for some reason, when you are using the long sideboard bed, you cannot attach a trailer to your truck. But when you are using the long flatbed, you can attach a trailer to your truck. So if you want to use a long bed, go for the long flatbed. Overall, the performance of Mack Pinnacle is absolutely amazing. You have access to plenty of add-ons, including unique add-ons and long flatbed and long sideboard bed. And you have access to a good amount of fuel. And that's why this truck is the best heavy-duty truck in the game right now. That's it for today's video. I see you in the next one.